Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Erwin Insights. My name is Marianne McDonough, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Erwin. And we're so excited to have you with us for 2 days of value-packed sessions, solutions booths, networking, all designed to help you and your organization learn, transform, and advance with Erwin. We've got 3 tracks of content thoughtfully curated for you: enterprise architecture, data modeling, and data intelligence. Pick a track and ride it all the way through, or feel free to jump around and learn more about Erwin's broad solution offerings. And it's my pleasure to introduce this morning's keynote speaker, Adam Famularo, CEO of Erwin, as he shares his view of the critical role of data in radical disruption and how Erwin's Edge solution portfolio can help your organization to discover, understand, govern, and socialize your data to mitigate risks and realize results. Later in the presentation, Adam and I will be joined by several members of our senior team. And now I'll turn it over to Adam. Good morning, Adam. How are you today?
Good morning, Marianne, and thanks for having me. And welcome to all of you joining us from over 80 countries around the world. Just about 5 years ago, we launched Erwin Inc., the company, expanding on the brand and success of Erwin Data Modeler to create a recognized world leader in data governance. 4 acquisitions later, innovation across our enterprise modeling and data intelligence portfolios, as well as continued organic growth, has led us to become the trusted by more than over 3,000 companies, the majority of whom are massive global brands. We're proud to help these organizations connect their business and data architectures and leverage data intelligence to manage risk and to drive digital transformation and growth. Over the course of the next 2 days, it's our goal to help you better understand Erwin's vision, strategy, and solutions. So let's talk about the role of data at a time of radical disruption. It's certainly no secret that data has been growing in volume, variety, and velocity, and most companies are overwhelmed by managing it, let alone harnessing it to put it to work. We're now generating 2.5 quintillion bytes of data every day, and 90% of the world's data volumes has been created in the past 2 years alone. With this absolute data explosion, it's nearly impossible to filter out the time-sensitive data, the information that has immediate relevance and impact on your business. And this time sensitivity is a massive issue, as taking a proactive and data-driven approach can literally mean life or death to your business or to your customers. And that's where data analytics can play a huge role. By leveraging the power of the cloud, harnessing data from IoT and other events, and processing this data in near real time, analytics helps to effectively process the relentless incoming data feed. Also, as you will hear a lot about over the coming 2 days, without automation and the development of a governed data pipeline, you'll never have enough data scientists in the front office to put the data to work. The benefits of fast time to insight are clear regardless of the industry you're in. Whether you're a communications agency that needs to get out in front of a difficult message, or a retailer driving sales based on real-time customer behavior, or a logistics and delivery company needing to understand road conditions, stoppages, and up-to-the-minute weather, or even a hospital that needs to tailor patient care based on the latest public health findings. Your data needs to be fueled by rapid decisions that makes your organization more effective, customer-centric, and competitive. And all this was true before the world changed. Of course, COVID did change everything. It's a radical disruptor, the likes of which we have never seen before. Look, as a CEO, a husband, and a father, I've made decisions over the past 6 months that I never dreamed possible. And I'm sure this is true for you and your business as well. Now, to survive and thrive in the face of radical disruption, it requires radical transformation. Whether it's developing new business models, think about like moving your fitness center outdoors, or developing new products and services, like restaurants that are packaging up fruits and vegetables and selling them as food bundles to customers, or market expansion, like traditional grocers that are becoming online shopping hubs. The companies that come out of this historic period of global uncertainty and change are those who take an intelligent and data-driven approach to their business. But what holds most companies back from faster time to insight and from leveraging radical transformation is what I call the core 4 questions. What data do I have and where is it? What people and systems are using that data and for what purposes? What processes should govern its use? And how is this data relevant and accessible to the business? What they're all missing is one thing: data intelligence. And that's where Erwin comes in. Our Edge platform helps organizations unlock their potential by maximizing the security, quality, and value of their data assets. And it operationalizes these steps by connecting enterprise architecture, business process, and data modeling with data intelligence software. The result is an automated, real-time, high-quality data pipeline from which accurate insights can be derived. Then all stakeholders within a company, those in IT as well as the larger enterprises, can collaborate together to make better decisions based upon data truth, not just gut instinct. So let's take a look at how the Erwin Edge portfolio can help. For the purposes of our discussion today, I'd like to introduce you to Impressive Insurance, a fictional company. Like many of our customers, Impressive is a global insurance provider delivering property, life, casualty, and wealth management solutions through over 3,500 agents, both that are at home and in the office. Impressive has done several acquisitions and pre-COVID had aggressive growth targets by the end of 2022. To ensure that growth is achieved, Impressive needs to expand their product portfolio, target a new demographic of younger professionals, and re-architect the whole customer experience. Now that's a tall order for any business to undertake. To facilitate the above growth, Impressive has 3 very large data-driven projects that require collaboration and solutions across their IT and business teams. First, comply with Sarbanes-Oxley and the new IFRS 17 regulatory requirements. Second, jumpstart a board-mandated data governance initiative. And third, kick off a company-wide customer journey and experience mapping project. Together, we'll see how some of Impressive's key players leverage Erwin to effectively address their critical business requirements. For this section, I'd like to bring on Martin Owen, our General Manager of our Evolve business unit. Martin is responsible for our enterprise architecture and business process modeling solutions. Hi, Martin, and welcome to Erwin Insights.
Hi, Adam. Thank you for having me.
So, Martin, let's meet Laura McKenzie, business analyst at Impressive. Laura is responsible for providing information for Sarbanes-Oxley and IFRS 17 filings, and she needs to identify processes and the associated data for these compliance initiatives. Now, I'll turn this over to you to show us how Laura uses Erwin Evolve and our new Erwin Evolve Connect for data intelligence.
Okay, so this is Impressive Insurance's Enterprise Architecture and Business Architecture Evolve website. I'm going to show you some of the application portfolio for Impressive Insurance and some critical processes that are supporting compliance initiatives. So let's take a look at our application landscape. So the application landscape is shown across geographical boundaries. We can see all the applications in our portfolio. And these are actually applications that we could be harvesting from Erwin DI Suite as part of our automation and discovery. So let's take a look at Order to Ship Manager, which is an application which supports various processes: billing, sales order, shipment and transfer order. And I can look at any projects it's involved in, and I can also deep dive into that application itself and start to look at properties and attributes around compliance, such as PII, SOX and GDPR, and some of the financial attributes around total cost of ownership, number of licenses, its deployment. I can pull this information, as I mentioned, from either Erwin DI Suite, which gives me more information about the data flows and how things link together. And I can pull information about the operational pieces from tools such as ServiceNow, where you have a change in configuration management database. So let's go back to our homepage. And I've marked a critical application here called Order to Cash, which is something I want to investigate. So let's have a look at the process flow. So the process flow shows me from left to right the sequence of processes in order to cash, going from contact to inquiry to quotation to the sales order to delivery and how we bill. And what you'll notice on here is that some of the processes are red. So let's take a look at shipment. And I can see that this process is marked as critical to SOX compliance, hence the reason for it being red. And obviously for other users, you can set this to your own colors or your own icons, however you want to put heat maps and indicators on a model. Okay, so we have some other views we've created. within Impressive Insurance. So we have a SOX applications view. This is automatically created by Evolve, and it shows us for an end-to-end business process all of the SOX critical processes and the underlying applications that support them. So I can see here that Order to Ship Manager, which we know has PII information and is SOX critical, maps to a number of processes. So let's take a look at the All Applications view. Again, it's a view that's constructed automatically for us by the tool. And I can actually see here that we've got the same information, and that Order to Ship Manager here is also supporting Sales Order. So actually, Sales Order is a process we need to mark as highly critical for Sarbanes-Oxley. And the reason we do that is that we can then mark this, save it, we've got an audit trail, and we can actually start to analyze this process in the context of other things in our architecture, such as processes, locations, people, technologies, other applications and data. It gives us more insight into our overall architecture. And we can see part of our process flow, we've now got that process is now critical to Sarbanes-Oxley. And I can see it also as part of my SOX applications portfolio for this process. So we've shown you here how at Impressive Insurance we can look at applications which come from Erwin DI Suite. We can put extra information into those applications from tools such as ServiceNow, and then we can start to highlight where those applications satisfy or support certain business processes and mark those as Sarbanes-Oxley critical accordingly, and then go and do further investigation on these. So next I'm going to hand back to you, Adam.
Thanks, Martin. For this next section, I'd like to bring on Prashant Parikh, our General Manager for our Data Modeling and Data Intelligence Business Unit. Hi, Prashant, and welcome to Erwin Insights.
Thank you, Adam. Pleasure to be here.
Now let's meet Neil McLean, Impressive's data modeler and one of their technical data stewards. Neil's responsible for all the Erwin data models at Impressive and is frequently asked to contribute metadata for projects, which he extracts manually and painfully, I might add, via Excel. Today, he needs to harvest the metadata from Erwin Data Modeler to provide a foundation for Impressive's data governance program. Here, I'll turn it over to Prashant to take us through how Neil extracts metadata from his Erwin models and uses it to auto-populate Impressive's new data catalog using Erwin DM Connect for data intelligence.
Thank you, Adam. So here I'm going to show how Impressive Insurance data steward can actually use the Erwin data modeler to capture the data models and the details around it, and then use the same data model and send it to Erwin DI, the data intelligence solution. And then further, I will also show how it can be mapped to the business glossary and the GDPR attributes on the DI side. So here what you are seeing is the insurance model for Impressive Insurance. It has all the stuff that a typical insurance company needs. It has account management. It has claims. It has a claim identifier. It has all the details of the claims. And the real advantage with this integration is that all these details, all this information that has been captured onto the Erwin data model, where things have been marked as PII, all the table, the column names, the logical names, all the mappings between the columns, they will all be seamlessly transferred to Erwin DI. So basically in Erwin DM, we have the DM Connect for DI, and the data stewards can configure a job to pull from a particular folder in Mart, or as a one-time job, or they can create a repeating job and send it to Erwin DI, so that whenever the model has changed in Erwin DM Mart, it will automatically resync and the updated information will be pushed to the data intelligence product. So here you can select the models that you want to do, want to send, and let's say they want to send this particular model. Where do you want to send it to? So let's say we want to send it to Impressive Insurance, and the name of the model will be whatever the name of the model is in Erwin DM, and you can then submit this information to Mart. And once the job runs, I'll then show how it is transferred. But once the job runs, it will transfer the information from DM to DI. Thus, you do not have to manually export it in CSV file and then import it back in DI and then do the version management, which you have to do manually. This process is completely automated, and once if you have scheduled it, it will keep running every week, every month, and the DI will end up having the updated metadata information, which is kind of the goal of a data governance solution, to be on top of all the data. So once the model has been sent to DI, when you log into Business User Portal, you end up launching the dashboard. And this is where you provide the information to the users of your data governance solution, what data governance initiatives you want to roll out and who are the contacts, and any other information that you want to share with them. So let's quickly look at where our model ended up being. So you see here, there is a system called Impressive Insurance Warehouse. Now we can look at all the models that are in there, and we have one model that was being sent over. And here you can see all the tables of the model. If you are interested in a particular, let's say, information about the particular table, you can take a look at that. Or if you want to drill into the columns of that, you can figure out all the column information too. Now let's see what else you can do once the technical metadata has ended up being in the data governance solution. So one of the big things that people want to do, which they do manually today, is map this technical information to the business glossary, so that a business user or a data governance user can make more sense out of the data. And then further, they might want to implement or tag elements that are GDPR specific. And Erwin DI has an automated way of doing that using Erwin AI Match. And I'll show you the result of that. So this is Impressive Insurance glossary that we had it pre-populated in our environment. If you see, it has attributes for person, for claim, for agreement. For example, if you go further into the person details, you see that the business glossary terms of full legal name or person are automatically matched to the Impressive Insurance model that was sent from Erwin DI. And you can do that for other business glossary terms also. And if you further expand things like birth date, for example, it will automatically be tagged with the GDPR attribute of the date of birth and the GDPR glossary. So it belongs to the personal data and the GDPR glossary or the personal data breach. And all this visualization, which we call mind map, this is created automatically using the Erwin AI Match once the technical metadata has ended up in Erwin DI from DM. And the business glossary is something that we ship a lot of business glossary terms for each individual verticals for the different companies. Hope this was useful. Thank you. Adam, I'll pass this back to you.
Thanks, Prashant. And last, we're excited to share a sneak preview of a new solution coming later this fall, Erwin Edge Collaboration, or we call it Erwin EC. We'll bring back Martin to tie it all together, showing us how Impressive's John Sykes uses Erwin EC to jumpstart the customer journey mapping process by looking at a wide range of customer data across the enterprise.
Okay, so I'm going to take you on a small tour of Edge Collaboration. It is a highly configurable and persona-based collaboration platform for use across 2 or more Erwin tools. So here is a dashboard, and we've configured this to support for Impressive Insurance, looking at business terms, PII data, underlying metadata, information you may have gleaned from Erwin DI Suite, from the business glossary and the data catalog. We're also looking at applications and processes from our Evolve platform and data models from Erwin DM. So we can harvest these automatically into Edge Collaboration. So primarily we're interested in searching across assets. So what I want to do now is to start to look across the portfolio of products. I want to look for customer data. So I come up to the search box at the top here and I start to type in customer. And you can see automatically that Edge Collaboration is looking across the repositories, and it's showing me now all of the information that starts with customer. I can either select the information here to open it up. So in this example here, I'm actually looking and interested in customer information because I'm going to kickstart a customer project. If I hit enter here, we're going to return with a Google type search our search results. So you can see here across all 3 of our products, we're looking at DM entities, business terms, tables, business processes. So let's click on this business process, which I think is interesting. it contains customer credit check. We now get taken into a little window which tells us who the business owner is. I can look at more details about that business process with information pulled from Evolve. I can see the applications that Evolve supports. So for customer credit check here, I can see the status of the applications. Are they in development? Are they live? Are we phasing them out? I can also see the impact. So now I can start to look at that business process and the applications it connects to. So let's take a look at the sales and marketing system here. I don't really know much about that and what it does, but I suspect it might contain PII. Okay, so let's just type in PII in the screen here. I can see some details about it, but again, I'm not really sure about what it's doing. So let's go ahead and make a comment in here. And on the platform here, I can actually call up Neil, which Prashant represented earlier on, and ask Neil a question about his application. Okay, so we have live comments in here. He will receive an email and a URL link automatically. I can also bookmark this asset, so I remember to come back to it. So let's put in the sales and marketing need to review. Not sure what it is. And we'll just save that away. Okay, let's go back to our search window. I'm also interested in the business term customer. So this is an individual company who purchased goods. Okay, I'm not sure if that's correct or not. So again, I can just place a bookmark on this in a second. You can see here the details for the business term have come from DI Suite, from the business glossary. It's an approved glossary term. So actually I can probably be quite confident that that's accurate. However, let's investigate it later. So the customer business term, check the description. And we can save that away. Okay, I also think there, that I'm going to add some PII info into the description here as well. Okay, so I've gone across so far, looked at two different types of assets. One from our Evolve product, one from the business glossary, and if I look at the top here, there's also an entity here. And I can do exactly the same type of thing. So I can look at its properties, its tables, its columns, etc. For now, I'm just going to bookmark that object. And which database does this belong to? I will just save that away. Okay, so we can carry on. We can do further analysis. We can do further deeper queries into different object types across the portfolio with deeper queries. We can save those away. What I'm going to do now is come back to my dashboard. And what I can start to see here is that we've now got our items bookmarked, so I can investigate them at a later stage. I can click on my business term. I can see what I put, check the description. I can see the assets associated with that bookmark, such as the business term. I can collaborate with other users. I can also vote and rank and raise issues on any object in the repository. So this is really helping me now as part of my impressive insurance customer journey. It starts to flesh out now what are the important assets I need to understand and investigate across Erwin Data Modeler, Erwin DI Suite, and Erwin Evolve. And at the same time, I'm also building up a picture here of how much PII data, because we're automatically looking across the attributes for the term PII. So there's a lot of intelligence built in. Finally, if I want to completely configure this platform to my own environment, you have a complete built-in editor here. So you can actually see that this is now being designed with a design editor that we've built into EC, and it's very easy to configure and change the way that this platform looks and how the personas work for individual users. Okay, back to you then, Adam.
Great stuff, guys. Thanks to Martin and Prashant for these excellent demos. So we hope that our experience today at Impressive Insurance helped demonstrate the power of data intelligence in the hands of your business. Whether you are a data scientist, data steward, ETL developer, enterprise architect, business analyst, risk manager, chief data officer, or chief executive, You need accurate, relevant, and real-time data to do your job. With the Erwin Edge and its integrated capabilities, every enterprise stakeholder can discover, understand, govern, and socialize data assets to realize the desired results and mitigate data-related risks. It's the data intelligence you need to move from radical disruption to radical transformation. With that, I'd like to bring back Marianne, Martin, and Prashant for management panel discussion.
Well, guys, thanks. This has been really interesting so far. I'm going to get us going with a few questions that we received beforehand. Okay, I've got one for you, Martin. Is Erwin committed to EABP in the same way as it is to data governance?
Absolutely, yeah. So actually, EA and BP is a critical part of data governance. So as you start to manage your data and you start to manage your applications, business processes become very, very critical. So actually building out the whole enterprise architecture in support of data governance is very important. And also, usually when you're starting out on a data governance initiative, you're doing some type of digital transformation. And that's really where Evolve starts to play heavily. So you can start to look at where are we today in terms of current architectures, where do we want to be with a target architecture, and start to map out with Evolve that journey to get there.
Yeah, that makes really good sense. One of the things that that somebody asked us was, and this is a pretty broad question, everybody can answer it a little bit differently, but what are the most common use cases customers ask Erwin to support? Adam, you want to start off with a couple that come to mind for you?
Well, to me, across all the different industries, whether it's financial services, healthcare, insurance, like we saw today, number one that comes to mind is regulatory compliance. Being able to truly understand what your data is, where it is located, and then being able to have a governing process in place to be able to make sure that they're protected against compliance is number one. But I would also say right behind it, which is a very strong number two, especially with everything going on with COVID, is business transformation. So, how do I make these very, very important business decisions to change the way I'm doing something today? And if you don't have really solid, accurate data, you can't make those really important business decisions.
Yeah, I think that makes really good sense. So one of the ones that I wanted to toss out too is cloud migration, right? So we see, especially with the explosion of Snowflake and their IPO over the past couple of weeks, Snowflake is going to be one of our presenters here in the next 2 days, which we're really excited about. But lots and lots and lots of renewed focus around moving to the cloud, and especially moving data stores from traditional legacy base to cloud data platforms like Snowflake and Microsoft Azure and others. So that's definitely something that we're seeing more impact for. So Prashant, you want to talk a little bit about that, and then I'll have Martin follow up and talk a little bit about how Evolve actually plays a key role in that as well.
Yep, absolutely. So the cloud migration is getting more and more popular, I would say, as you mentioned, with Snowflake and Azure. And with Erwin, customers have a complete end-to-end solution. And the best part of it is that once the cloud migration is over, they can continue using the same Erwin tools for continuing to govern the data that is now residing in the cloud in their modern data warehouses. So with the help of Erwin DM and Erwin DI, very quickly, what the customers can do is they can take a toll of exactly what they have today using Erwin DM, and then they can migrate those schemas and data models to the modern data warehouse technologies, either be it Snowflake or Microsoft Azure or anything else. And then using Erwin DI, they can Erwin DI and Smart Connectors, I mean, they can then take the existing data, take the existing ETL tools that are pumping data into their legacy database on a daily or a weekly basis, migrate all of that with the data and the ETL tools to the cloud, so that now the cloud has the data and the incremental data being pumped into it as well. And then since they have done all this using Erwin, they can continue to use the Erwin DI and the DM to govern and manage the data which is now residing on the cloud, which it becomes even more important to govern it and make sure that all the sensitivity attributes are marked and everything, because it now resides on the cloud. So that's what Erwin can offer, and we have a solution around that.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. So Martin, talk to me a little bit about, Evolve in the management of that whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So effectively, what Prashant's talking about there is running some complex projects, which are made easier with our technology. But if you want to manage projects and people, and whether that's in an agile or a structured waterfall lifecycle approach, Evolve fits right in, because you're really looking at replatforming, and you're really interested in, how does that affect the current business process capabilities in the organization? How does it affect my application portfolio? What are the new costs? What's the new architecture? Is Azure costing more than AWS to run Snowflake on? So all of these questions, can be modeled out with Evolve, and then you can start to see, what are your target scenarios and how do you satisfy them, and come up with a much better informed decision to actually make the change.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Adam, one of the things that I'm sure that we're going to hear from a lot of people over the next several days, because we believe that we're probably reaching the largest audience of data modelers ever with this event, is I had no idea that Erwin did all this really good stuff now. Right, so that's one of the big points of having this conference, is to let them know. So what's your message to Erwin data modelers who are joining us for the next 2 days when it comes to thinking about what they have and what we now offer, and sort of how those things come together?
Yeah, I mean, look, Marianne, great point. We have over 220,000 Erwin data modelers around the world. And we know a large portion of them have logged in here today, and we thank you for joining us to learn more about who Erwin is today. And we really have transformed, right? We started the company as a data modeling company, and then quickly transformed into a data governance organization. So in essence, enabling all the work that you've done all over these years of creating all this rich metadata in these Erwin data models, it's now our job to help take that rich data and make it even more relevant in today's business environment by enabling you to move it over and use as part of a larger data governance offering. And that's the key message that we hope you take away from this. And you do look at our other technologies, whether it's Evolve or DI, to help you bring together a comprehensive approach that we call EDGE, right? The Enterprise Data Governance Experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good answer. So I'll go back to a little bit of technology, and then I'll come back to you with a couple more business questions. And so Martin, you and I spend a bunch of time in front of the industry analysts. There's a lot of buzz about AI and ML, right? How really we drive automation and intelligence into our portfolio. So can you give folks a sense of where that sits in our priority in terms of the roadmap and the things that are coming, and how you see that applied across the portfolio over time?
Yes, so for us, the first part of that is automating as much as we can. So reducing a lot of the heavy lifting that people have traditionally done. So whether that's by harvesting code, discovering what we've got out there, or it's building up the architecture in your architectural models, that is all automation. So that's the first step, is to automate what we've got. Once we've reduced the heavy lifting or the manpower required to do things, the next step for us then is to look at the intelligence. So how can we drive more intelligence out of the information we have in our data models, our catalogs, our glossaries, our architecture or business processes? So we can start to look for gaps. We can start to help the organizations do things quicker and faster. And again, as I mentioned before, make much better intelligent decisions moving forward.
Right, excellent. Thanks, Adam. Talk to us about the importance of partners in our go-forward strategy. How do they fit in to the scenario? How do we see them helping to take us and our customers into the future?
Great question, Marianne. And look, we at partners are the heart of who we are as a company. At the very beginning, when we founded Erwin Inc., the company, we brought over a strong reseller channel, distribution channel, even a system integrator business. And we've just invested more and more into those partners. At the end of the day, to deliver comprehensive solutions to our customers, it does require us to work with the partner community to be able to build and deliver these solutions, as well as work with strategic alliances, right? Like Snowflake, you mentioned earlier, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and others, to ensure that we have comprehensive solutions to help our customers provide the very best in data governance in the marketplace.
That's excellent. And so one final question, and that is, it's been a tough year for a lot of companies financially. And one of the things that people want to know is, how is Erwin doing? How have you guys fared from, riding COVID? Are you still a safe bet and an investment to take a large, technology project, whether it's enterprise architecture or data governance or the whole kit and caboodle? Is what kind of shape is Erwin in after the last 9 months?
You're throwing great ones at me. Well, thankfully, look, when we went into this whole crisis mode, what we did was first we made sure that all of our employees are in a good place. And thankfully, they all were then, and they still are today. Then the second thing is we just dove into our customers and we said, listen, we're here to help you no matter how you need that help, whether it was providing free training, services, support, whatever that is. And we did just that. And thankfully, the output of that was our customers, awarded us more and more business to help them. Because look, at the end of the day, this whole COVID piece, as we talked about earlier, it just drove people to make changes in their business models, and to make those changes, the relevance of data just went through the roof. So for us, crazy enough, through this time, we've actually grown and grown quite successfully during this time. We've grown in revenue as well as employees. We'll by the end of this year, we'll probably hire somewhere between 60 to 100 new employees to the company while going through this crisis. So look, we're growing, we're healthy, and most importantly, we're here for our customers. So if you find yourself still in any type of situation where you're challenged due to COVID in any way, shape, or form, please reach out to us. We're here to help you.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for participating in this great panel discussion and for everything that you've done to make the event a success. Adam, we're going to turn it back over to you now and let you bring us home.
Thanks, Marianne. And thanks, everybody, for these great questions. Finally, I'd like to say thank you to our customers who have put their trust in us, especially during this unprecedented time. And thank you to our partners who have helped bring Erwin solutions to so many of you. And for those of you attending Insights that are in the buying cycle, we're excited that you are here and look forward to creating this data intelligent future together. And now I'll turn it back over to Marianne to tell us what's coming next.
Hey, thanks, Adam. We have a really exciting lineup. There's so much happening over the next couple of days. I'm just going to share with you really the next 3 tracks. So in our enterprise architecture track at 10 a.m. Eastern time, coming up, we've got Martin doing a fantastic job on the future of enterprise architecture. Also at 10 o'clock, Eastern time, we've got Prashant doing the future of data modeling. And because Prashant is a time traveler and he can be in 2 places at once, also in the Erwin DI track, both Prashant and I will be talking about our vision to automate everything around data intelligence. Just want to remind everybody that in between, the solution booths and the networking lounges are open until 2 p.m. today, and then we'll be again tomorrow. And we've got very specific booth hours where you can connect live with our APJ and our EMEA booth teams as well. So we're really excited to have you today and tomorrow with us for Erwin Insights, and thank you so much for joining us.